What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, daily news, pretty much everything going on here in the United States, Washington, D.C., money, investing, the stock market, pretty much everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Remember, the new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date with everything. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. Also, if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. I will keep you up to date with everything you need to know about. We got a lot to talk about here, so let's jump right in. The nationwide store Dollar Tree has announced that they are going to increase their price from Dollar Tree, to $1.25. A 25% increase will be their new price point. Yeah, can they really call themselves Dollar Tree now? Do they need to call themselves $1.25 tree? Dollar and a quarter tree? Yeah, another sign that inflation is really rearing its ugly head here nationwide. Um, yeah, dollar and a quarter tree? Yeah. As you can see here, Dollar Tree stock rose after the deep discount chain announced its new price point will be $1.25. The move marks a departure from the everything for a dollar philosophy Dollar Tree has employed for the past 3 decades. In all fairness, that is a very long term without a price raise. 30 years. Um, Honestly, good for them for going that long without a price raise. God bless them. That's a long time. The retail the retailer maintained it's not a reaction to short-term or transitory market conditions. 30 years without a price raise. That's amazing that they even made it that long. They announced that a new price point will be $1.25, departing the everything for a dollar philosophy the retailer has employed for the past 3 decades. Price hikes were first announced in September, with management noting that prices of $3 and $5, as well as $1.25 and $1.50. So they do have other price points as well. Um, Further detailing the strategy, saying prices on the majority of its products will climb to $1.25 by the first quarter of next year. Quote, this decision is permanent. Yeah. They said that they have to shift away from the constraints of the dollar price point in order to continue offering extreme value to customers. Additionally, this increase will enable the company to return profit margins to their long-standing levels of 35%. Yeah, and this just goes to show that nobody is immune to inflation right now. We're seeing it in the gas pumps, in food, groceries, everywhere. I mean, the price of everything has increased. I can't think of a single thing. Uh, is there anything where prices has not increased? The prices of new cars has dramatically increased. I mean, honestly, almost all new cars are selling it over MSRP because there's really a shortage of new cars. A lot of new cars that are actually coming in are sitting on lots because of the chip shortage. Computer chips that are in cars right now. A lot of cars are being shipped over without computer chips that are essential to a lot of the operating systems that like there's actually like computer systems in a lot of these new cars, and a lot of the cars are not operational and have to sit on lots until the computer chips get shipped over later, or some of the cars are somewhat operational but have some features that are not fully operational, and they have to have a chip shipped over later to the customer at a later date, and some features are not fully functional, believe it or not. You can see from this headline here from Barron's, inflation remains the top GOP Republican message as the spending bill heads over to the Senate. And also, the Democrats here from this article, Democrats signal the Senate to trim at least 10% of the spending bill, as another House vote will be inevitable when they change the bill in the Senate. But also that if they do trim 10% of the spending bill, will they replace it with other items potentially new items from the spending bill. If Joe Manchin and the Senate parliamentarian remove several different items, will there be an opportunity for Senator Bernie Sanders to add in more items for the people? Potentially a fourth stimulus check for adults, potentially vision and dental benefits for Medicare, potentially other benefits like unemployment tax free provisions, like we've seen added in the third stimulus check package that were retroactive for 2020. They could do that as well for 2021. We could see that stimulus debit card for Medicare benefits as well. That $800 to $1,000 stimulus debit card that both President Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders were pushing for as well. Honestly, at this point, a lot of different things can be added in or subtracted in the Senate. Senator Bernie Sanders versus Senator Joe Manchin. Really, a lot of things are going to happen in the Senate as they go with the back and forth. Senator Joe Manchin's a wild card. Senator Kirsten Sinema is a wild card. And really, what they are willing to vote for is a big wild card as well. Here is Democratic Representative Kim Schreier on a couple of the important items in this stimulus package.
On Friday, every House Republican voted against the life-saving provisions in President Biden's social agenda bill. Highlighting one of those life-saving provisions, President Biden wrote this on Twitter: "Millions of folks across the country have diabetes, sometimes paying around $1,000 a month for insulin. It's outrageous. With my Build Back Better Act, we're going to ensure no one will pay more than $35 a month for their insulin." Before the bill passed, House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy spoke on the House floor for 8 hours and 32 minutes to try to stop the Build Back Better bill, which is a bill that will save lives. Our next guest, Democratic Congressman Kim Schreier of Washington, is a pediatrician and has type 1 diabetes, which requires her to take insulin. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Kim Schreier of Washington State. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Take us through this provision on insulin, how it works, what it means to Americans, and what it personally means to you.
Lawrence, thank you for having me. This is a really big deal. I thought, how do I communicate how much insulin is in a bottle? And I thought I would just bring one bottle out and show you. It is tiny. There's 2 teaspoons that fit in a bottle of insulin. And the price of this, boy, I've had diabetes for 37 years. I remember when it was about $10 a bottle. In the year 2000, it was about $40 a bottle. And now this same bottle of insulin is over $300. And that has moved it from being a medicine that is affordable and life-saving to unaffordable and life-threatening. And so we hear about people rationing their insulin or even dying because they're waiting for their next paycheck. And $35 a month insulin is affordable and will save lives.
To see the price go in 20 years from $20 to $300 is a form of inflation that Republicans don't seem to care about at all.
Well, I hate to be able to speak for Republicans, but I would say that, insulin is a particularly egregious example of what has happened with drug pricing in our country. It is not the only medication that has gone out of control in terms of pricing, but we have a system that is opaque, to say the least, and where there's a lot of hands along the way that are taking profit, while the American people pay prices that are 3 to 4 times higher than the rest of the world. And insulin is particularly egregious.
So how is this going to work? If I'm a diabetes patient now, and I'm presumably I'm getting some, if I'm lucky, I'm getting some kind of coverage for this in my health insurance. How is it going to work for me?
So if you're a patient now, you are paying a copay or a co-insurance when you go and pick up your medicine. If you're a person with a high deductible, you're going and you are paying full cost until you get up to your deductible. Now you will pay no more than $35 per month. And that is a really big deal. The people who pay the most for insulin are those without insurance and those with high deductible insurance. And this is going to particularly help them.
There's one survey indicated that about 25% of the patients in this country have to hoard or manage their insulin supply in some way, not use less of it on schedule than they are supposed to.
Yeah, let me explain what that means. You need a certain amount of insulin just to stay alive. But to have really good control, to have the kind of control that will keep you healthy for many years, that will keep you out of the hospital, that will have you living a long, productive life, you need more insulin and you need to use it carefully. And so, the notion that people are rationing at the end of the month, that means they are compromising their health. And when that happens, ultimately we all pay because they end up in the hospital, and none of us should tolerate that.
And it's not just for insulin, but you hear her story there, and millions of people take insulin. That would be a huge thing, and high deductible insurance is more and more common today. For example, me and my wife's insurance, we have a $5,000 deductible for each of us, $10,000 family plans. So what that means for us, because we have our own insurance, kind of like through our own company here, we have to pay $5,000 out of pocket for each of us until our insurance pays anything. Okay, so that means I have to pay 5,000, and Laurel has to pay, or we have to pay $5,000 for each of us, or before our insurance pays anything. So I have inhalers. I've had asthma for pretty much my whole life, and our insurance doesn't pay anything for our prescriptions until I hit $5,000. That's how expensive it is. It's insane. So my inhalers are like hundreds of dollars for one. Same thing. So they're going to lower the cost of if they pass this bill and how it goes through. If it goes through in the Senate, how it's written here, I believe the way it's currently written now, if it doesn't get changed, it's 7 years. So any medication that's been on the market right now, and it's not a super complex drug, and there's a whole bunch of complex wording in here. But prescriptions that have been on the market for 7 years are going to get their costs reduced here significantly. Medicare will be the government organization that is going to negotiate on lowering the cost here. So it's not going to be just insulin, but that's kind of the big one that's kind of talked about because it's a life saving prescription, and that's kind of the big one there. So we're going to see millions, tens of millions, maybe even over 100 million people are going to see the cost of prescriptions lowered. So we talk about that. We talk about the cost of childcare. We talk about 3 and 4 year old preschools. I mean, those are thousands of dollars. We talk about lowering the cost of prescriptions. We talk about Medicare for seniors, hearing and hearing aids. So they're also trying to do vision and dental coverage for seniors. Bernie Sanders is still fighting for that. Even if Bernie Sanders can't get that in this package, it's a possibility it could be in the next package as well or down the road. Remember that they're fighting for hearing, vision, and dental coverage for seniors to be put there in Medicare in this stimulus package as well. So far, they got hearing and hearing aid coverage, but just because they get that in this package does not mean that down the road or even in this package they might not get vision and or dental either in this package or down the road. The next likely one would be vision and eyewear eyeglass coverage. Okay, that is the next one most likely. So that is something that Bernie Sanders is still fighting for, along with an $800 stimulus debit card for seniors on Medicare as well, where you could use that for medical and or dental procedures is something that President Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders want to do as well. We have multiple different advocacy groups pushing for a stimulus check of $1,400 to $2,000 in there for adults being pushed for as well, in addition to the stimulus checks that are currently in there called the child tax credits, $250 to $300 per month. That is currently in there for an extension of 1 more year. So right now, the last payment on that is going to be on December 15th. Okay. That last child tax credit payment is going to go out on December 15th if they cannot pass this package. So That is literally in about 3 weeks from now. So that last payment is going to go out. Coincidentally, also, before I even get to that here, I also should say that there is going to be the first 6 months of that is going to go out on your tax return. So when you do your 2021 tax return, the first 6 months of those payments, the January through June payment, is going to go out on your 2021 tax return. So $1,500 to $1,800 per child you're going to get on your 2021 tax return, because remember, they didn't start the monthly payments until July. Okay, so keep that in mind. So your 2021 tax return, you're going to get that 6 month one lump sum. But the last monthly payment is going to go out on December 15th if they can't pass this stimulus package by then. Also, don't forget that the debt limit is there as well. So the debt limit, which is the date where the government treasury or the government is literally going to run out of money. Can't make this stuff up, guys. The original date that they thought that the treasury or the government could run out of money, called the X date, was December 3rd. Now, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that the estimated earliest date is around December 15th. They're saying it could be later than that, but now she's saying December 15th, which is about 3 weeks from now. Okay. That's actually the same date as the child tax credits. So, and remember that the Democrats passed the stimulus package, which is now kind of more of a rough draft first version, because it's going to be changed in the Senate. Almost everybody agrees it's going to be changed in the Senate. So that bill kind of almost doesn't even matter anymore, because it's going to be significantly changed in the Senate. But that bill did not have the raising of the debt limit in it, which is kind of unfortunate, because are the Democrats going to even try to raise the debt limit in the stimulus package? Or how are they going to do it? Because the Republicans are saying they're not going to do it, and they're expecting the Democrats to do it in the stimulus package. Meanwhile, the Democrats passed the stimulus package in the House, at least, and didn't even include raising the debt limit in there. Meanwhile, the days keep ticking by, and we get closer and closer to the government actually defaulting. We can't have a default. It would be the worst economic crisis probably in any of our lifetimes, unless unless you've been living long enough to live from the Great Depression. I actually had some comments of people, the few people that said they were alive then. One guy said that he was between 0 and 4 years old then. Actually, I can't say if it was a guy or a girl, but I did see one comment there. But I thought that was a really cool comment there. So my hat's off to you for uh, living that long. So I hope I lived that long. That was a really cool comment to see there. I don't know if I seen any more comments there, because remember, I get like 1,000 comments in every video. So, but that was a really cool comment to see that. My hat off to you for being alive during the Great Depression. But if we get a default of the country, it would literally be like that again. It's not like a government shutdown. It's two different things. It would be like an economic collapse. It would literally be that bad. Um, it's basically the government defaulting. It would be like the government going bankrupt. Um, can't make this stuff up. Child tax credit payments would probably not go out. Social Security payments would probably be delayed. The government would just go kaput. All this because the Democrats and Republicans can't agree to just pass a simple piece of paper that says we need to print more money. We need to raise the debt limit, which is an artificial limit that our country is basically the only country in the world that even has this artificial limit to print money. Remember, we have our own currency like many, many, many other countries in the world, and we have to print our own country or print our own currency just to keep going, just to pay the debt that we have. And we really need to get rid of this debt limit, because we're the only country that has this debt limit in the capacity that we have it. It's ridiculous. And we've had Republicans and Democrats both say that we need to get rid of it at one point or another. Republicans don't want to get rid of it right now because it's kind of their leverage of power, because they don't have any tangible power in the House, the Senate, or the presidency because the Democrats kind of control all three of that. But on the other hand, we can't default, and even Mitch McConnell knows this, because if we default, everything is just kerplunk. But we played that game with Julian. It's one of his favorite games. This is the game Kerplunk. Let me know if you've played that game Kerplunk. But we don't want to go Kerplunk. It's not a Kerplunk game here, but that we're playing with the U.S. economy. Also, another thing we have to do here in now, let me see here. We got 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days is a government shutdown on December 3rd. We got 9 days to do that. And that's bad, not nearly as bad as a government default, but that'll put over 2 million government employees out of work. Government shutdown will shut down all non essential government services during a pandemic is not something you want to do. And we have Republicans, more and more Republicans demanding that there be border wall funding in this government shutdown bill, which I don't think Democrats are going to agree to. And if Republicans demand that, we could see a lengthy government shutdown as well. We'll have to see if that happens, but days keep ticking by for government shutdown and debt limits. And we could have a showdown here between Republicans and Democrats, all while the country and the American people are kind of caught in the middle of a kind of a high stakes game of chicken here between the Republicans and Democrats, which it kind of sucks that the American people and the economy are caught in the middle of this, right? The other problem here is that the stimulus package is here. Democrats didn't include the debt limits, and we also have Joe Manchin and the Senate parliamentarian there as well. But at least the Democrats did pass it out of the House, kind of a ceremonial pass it out of the House. At least it's gone here to the Senate, which is really where everything matters, because the Senate is, even Joe Manchin kind of said, just pass the bill in the House because the Senate is really where everything is going to matter and where the bill that is actually going to matter is going to be written, per se. I don't know if the House is going to like that, but nonetheless, that's kind of what really matters here. So let me know your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. It's free to do so. I'll keep you up to date with everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., and with the next stimulus package. So you can also share this video with your friends and family so that they can subscribe here as well. So remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.